Our lifestyle section.
In 1985, two young real estate agents decided to leave their employer and start their own business. With no money but a lot of ambition, they've steadily built Victoria's largest real estate agency. The names are Greg Hocking and Andrew Stewart, and I caught up with Greg to find out about how they did it. Hi Greg, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Reuben.
So tell us a bit about Hocking Stuart. Where are you at today?
We commenced in 1985 here in Albert Park in Melbourne. We've now grown to 35 offices as of next month. We're opening another 3, and we turn over in the order of about $2 billion a year in terms of sales.
So Greg, tell us how you got the business going. Where did you meet Andrew?
I was working in this area as a sales manager of another firm, and we were looking for a salesperson. Andrew applied for the position. We took him on 3 or 4 years later, in 1985, we decided to start our own business here in Albert Park.
So what was the motivation behind going out on your own?
Lack of opportunities from where we were. We had a very secure position, very comfortable lifestyle, but we had the ambition and the urge to break out and have a go ourselves.
And just tell us, Greg, how did you know that Andrew was the right business partner for you?
I think we often joke about it, but it's very true. If you have a partner that talks like you, acts like you, thinks like you don't need a partner. And we have complementary skills, and that was certainly the case right back from when we started, because we were both day-to-day operationally doing the business, writing the business, selling the properties, listing the properties. As we've grown, I've moved in a different direction, taking on a more administrative role, whilst I'm still a salesperson at heart. But more of an administrative role to develop the franchise group. And Andrew has maintained his focus at the coalface, which has been very beneficial for the business because we get both aspects of the business.
So Greg, what were some of the things you did in the early days when you were starting out to get the business going?
Well, one thing was that we had to make our own presence known. We were very well established in the previous firm, so we had to make a breakthrough in terms of this market to let people know that we'd started on our own. So our initial campaign virtually just featured ourselves, our faces, saying, I think we said something along the lines of, imagine what service you'd get if you gave our business to us. And we also got a little bit worried about overhead, so we started off with a very, very low overhead base to make sure that we could generate some good income for ourselves. But one of the other things was that we were happy to reinvest that income back into the business to grow it.
So how much money did you put into the business yourself?
We didn't put any cash in ourselves. We got an overdraft, I think about $15,000, and today we've got a much larger overdraft, so I don't know whether we've been successful or not. But
So you've grown pretty quickly. What are some of the problems that you've had to overcome?
I think one of the issues that we identified very early is gaining the right talent to grow your business, investing in the people. So you build the people, build your business. That was our philosophy. But that then in time makes you vulnerable, because your key people, if they're ambitious, they want to get off and make their own mark themselves. Do you bring them in as partners? But over time you end up with a lot of partners if you've got a successful business. So we searched around for a model which would suit our plans, and that eventuated in franchising.
So Greg, tell us what you do to develop your brand.
We, right from the outset, made sure that there was funding available through the way that we generate our fees to support the brand and the brand penetration, I should say. And that's been very important for us to build the profile of the brand solely. And there's other marketing that we'll do which talks about our product delivery. But the branding exercise, which covers a lot of bases for us, has been a very strong point that we've certainly fostered.
So what are some of the other points that led to your business success?
Look, it's people, people, people. It's really been the key to our success. Beyond that, I might say that we've been fortunate to have started a business in inner Melbourne, in the inner suburbs. When I started here back in 1978 as a salesperson, it wasn't as glamorous a location as it is today, but it has certainly built along with our business, and that's been very fortunate for us, because we started our business in Melbourne and grew it out. A lot of other groups come from the outer suburbs and try to come into the inner suburbs as a real barrier to entry. We were very fortunate, so luck plays a part as well.
And you've put a few hours in, of course?
Yeah, long hours and hard work. And yes, we did actually, I suppose that's another key point that you've raised there. Points of difference within your business. When we started, we decided to work 7 days a week. We figured that people wouldn't necessarily stop buying houses on Sunday if there's an opportunity there. So we made a very bold step forward, and that was operating 7 days a week. That certainly made a big difference to our business.
And that motto is now your tagline.
The hardest working real estate agents, that's right. Yeah. And it's, maybe it's trying to take the high ground, but you struggle to come up with another motto. When our advertising agency came up with that one, we said, that's it.
So Greg, what tips would you have for others who are looking at starting up their own business?
First things first, if it's a real estate business that you're going to be starting in, or probably any business at all, make sure you get in, if you're new to the industry, get in and put in the required hours, and make sure you get a good handle on the sort of business that you want to venture out on your own, and make sure you're compatible to it. You're going to have to look at your own personal development, and that's a lot of emphasis on that today in terms of training and ongoing training. And ensure that you're getting into an area which is vibrant enough to support a good turnover. It's difficult to go into an area that you're not familiar with and try and make a name. It's better to start off somewhere where you've already been active.
And Greg, maybe just a few tips for property investors who are looking at getting into the market?
Yeah, look, it's pretty simple. I think the big shakeout that the market's had in terms of coming off the peaks of a couple of years ago has now unearthed where the real investment should be made, and the tried and true locations in and around inner city areas are the ones that people should focus on, the areas which are lifestyle focused, where people are clamouring to move into. There are some suburbs which benefit from the knock-on effect, and that's where you're taking a little bit of a gamble, where you think, well, the next suburb to go is going to be the adjoining one. Should I go and invest there and get in early? That can be a bit problematic, but often people have been very successful there. But a property that has some inbuilt scarcity is also something that you should be looking at. It might be an outstanding view, a water view, for instance. It may be a period home. It might be an outstanding architecture, something that sets it apart from the norm. So if you're getting those sorts of attributes built into your property, then it's going to ensure long-term growth. In a city, something that's got some scarcity inbuilt. And also, I always advocate buy a property that's in very good order to start with. Don't buy a renovator's opportunity. It's just bogs you down. You're not going to get income from day one. Invariably, the cost of renovation is going to be far, far higher than you invariably anticipated. If it's not your field of expertise, leave it to somebody else, and don't buy that one with your heartstrings.
Greg, thanks for your time.
Thanks for the opportunity.